No. Okay. This is our Mission Aquatics goal setting and race pace review / learning, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to start off going over some things that you guys may or may not know already. And that's going to be some of the resources on the main web page. So I'm going to start off talking about how to, number one, look up your top times if you're not sure how to do that yet. And number two, look up where to look up the cut times, where they're going to end up being. So let's try this one. All right, can everyone see the Mission Aquatics homepage right here with all the nice pictures and stuff going through it?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so first thing, anything swimmer related is there any swimmer info. There's all kinds of great stuff on here. There's your short course yards team records, long course meters team records, all-time top 5 for short course and long course. We'll go over to the goal sheet examples and the pace charts. There's also some recruiting FAQs. This is where I'm going to stash the YouTube videos and information on the racing squad. So this is where all this stuff kind of exists right here, but we're going to start off looking at our accounts. Now, most of you probably have never even looked at it before. This is something you can do with your parents, or you can get them to share username and passwords. So I'm already logged in, but this is where you would click on the thing to log yourself in, and then we click on the thing that says the back office. Now you'll see on mine, there'll be more stuff on here than yours you would see. But the deal you want to look at is my account. So I click on that and then click on account info. And you would get something like, would look like this, where this would have one of your parents' names on there, and then you can click on the members. Okay. This is also where if you wanted to get the emails yourself as a category 5 swimmer, this is where your mom and dad could put your own personal email in here, so that you could get all the email communications I send out as well. Okay, you would just type it in here and put whatever you want and get it out. Okay, so this is where you can see the members. Okay, I have my Not a Real Kid Cecito in there for purposes, but you can also click on myself. So I actually have times in here. And this is where you can look up some different details. You can look up your practice attendance. You can look up individual meet results of things that you participated in. I have all my stuff back in here from like 2010, 2011 and whatnot. And this is also where you can look up your best times. Now, keep in mind, this is your best times for USA Swimming and anything Mission Aquatics related. There are some high school times in here, but they're not all in here. So this is one place where you can look up your times. Okay. And again, if you miss out on what I just said, you can go back, review the YouTube video. The other place you can look is on our USA Swimming account. Okay, so when we have our USA Swimming account, this is something that your parents were asked to set up with the new Swims 3.0. Same deal, you have to ask them for your username and password. Mine's all set up. So I can log in. And this is the same deal to where you can look at, this is kind of what your main page, mine has a couple more things on it. But what you'll be looking at is, you're looking at my account. We got general info and whatnot, and you can click on your member card, take a look at the membership card and whatnot. This is also where you can kind of look at your best times. So I can go to, for you would look at my account, and there would be different things in there, like a kind of general info. And you can take a look at your general and all this other stuff. Let's see, where is it on here? Oh, here we go, time. So you look at your profile. Okay, so the profile tab, click on times, and then I don't have any time results in here because again, I'm old, but you can search for times. You can click on there and look up stuff. We can do show best times only. So this is another place where you can look up your best times. So when we're talking about goal setting, those are some resources. Now, both of these USA Swimming and your Team Unify account, there are apps for them also, mobile apps that you can download. It has the same username and password. You can look up those best times there. Okay. Another place for those that are a little more high school orientated and you're looking for your high school times. I'm gonna go back to this. Go back to your high school times. Another website is SWIMBUZ.com, swimbuzz.com. This is where it's a website that Coach Brace, who works with us in summertime, also the DeWitt girls head coach, put together. And this is where you can look up the top 10 list for the current season. Right now it's girls season, so you can see the top 10 list in just the local Lansing area. You can also look up archives, and it goes all the way back to 2009 girls, but if you're ever looking at meet results and want to look at archives, so if you want to look at boys, you know, I've heard Brody's voice a couple times. If you want to look up some of his times from the past, he could click on, he could click on his little red division and you can see there's a Brody Miloff time, best time for his last high school season. And you can also click on different meet results. So again, those are just resources when we're talking about how to set times for goal setting. Okay. Okay, I'll just go back here. As far as what to set your goal times for, well, again, you have those best times you can look at. You can check out, if you're interested, like an all-time top 5 list. I'm gonna pull that up to where, you know, if I'm a 13, 14-year-old girl, you can see, okay, well, what is the all-time 5 fastest swims for the Mission Aquatics? And this would be it right here. You can see Jordan Ships, Lola Mull, Schaefer, Melissa Rainsberger, Carly Janik. That's one thing you could look at as a reference point. Another thing you could do is you can look up our time standards. So this is where you can click on time standard info. Here I got a couple different explanations on what things are, but really what you guys want to go down to is number one, the age group motivational time standards. And this is a national database for 2021, 2024. These are created by USA Swimming. Again, they are exactly what they say. They're motivational age group times. Now, pay attention to the top, long course meters. And then the next one, pay attention to the top, short course meters. So I know some of you have looked at this before and be like, oh, I have that time. And you were looking at the wrong course. So right now we're short course yards, which is all the way down here at the bottom. That would be page 5 and 6. And you can look at your age group and you can kind of get an idea of, you know, where you might fall nationally as far as B, BB, A, AA, AAA, quadruple A. A lot of times we're looking at the BB time. That's our Circle City time standard to go to that Circle City meet in January. A standard is usually pretty close to what our mags or ultra cut might be. It might not be exactly, but again, it's just something to look at, a jumping off point. So, you know, if I'm a 15 to 16-year-old boy, I'm looking at what an A standard is. You know, I'm looking at, you know, this 24:39, AA 23:29, and so on and so on. Okay. So this is just some place where you can look to kind of see where your times kind of match up. Other things you can do, regional championships, mags, ultra. If I click on any of these, it's going to take me directly to last year's time standards. Okay, I'll update it with this year's and they come out. Okay, same thing. There's the 14 unders. There's the open. Okay, so again, all things you can just kind of take a look at. And then those are looking to aspire higher than the in-state competition, sectionals and central zones. This will take you to the Central Zone Championship webpage to where you can look at the meets. Now we are the Central Zone, East section, you can see Michigan. Then you can kind of scroll down and look at things where it says summer 2022 qualifying times. Click on that. Boom, there we go, qualifying times. Okay. So again, all resources you can look at to kind of see where you want to set the goals. When we're talking about making a goal card, if anyone ever has anything to say during this, put something in the chat box and I'll see about getting to it when we get there. Also understand swimmer info. Okay, for those who just need to review or have not done this before, we can look at our goal sheet example, same thing underneath the swimmer info. And again, that's just a little card, but here's the example at the top, okay, of where you want to kind of start writing your rough draft if you haven't done it or you need to redo it. So this is kind of just like a high school format where we got every event that's on there, what a swimmer's potential current time would be on one column, and what your goal time would be. Now, you could also do two columns. You could do a short-term column and a long-term column, where short-term would be, by, the next 2 months, I want to be such and such a time for a certain event, okay? And then you can have the end goal would be, by the time I get to Circle City or by the time I get to regionals, I want to be this time at that meet. So again, you're just kind of putting some things in perspective. Again, I try to keep these kind of realistic looking. You can see we're going from like a 54.3 to a 52.7, 157 or 153. Again, we want to look for some realistic, accomplishable goals, but then something long term, they might want to put like in 6 months from now or a year from now, I want to be 24.3 in 3 months, but then I want to be 23.7 in 6 months or 9 months or a year or whatever. But this is the basic right here. And again, it's just going back and looking up your times that we just went over, jotting those down on paper, and then trying to figure out what your goal time would be. Now, the good thing about the goal card is they are 100% fluid. That means they are changeable. So we can go through, and if you do break your goal time, let's say, I'm a minute 0.7 in the 100 backstroke, and I want to go 58.2. Well, a couple meets go by and I go, 58.1. I can update that. I can put a line through it, cross it out, and I can say, okay, my next step is I want to go 57.5, something like that. Okay. So again, that's just real basic of how to start your rough draft. If you haven't done it yet. All of our coaches, particularly the Cat 5 coaches, Coach Dave, Coach Damon, Coach Foley, and myself are all good people to go over this, but the other coaches too could certainly give you some advice on how to plan and strategize what your goal card might be. And if you already got one, that's great. But again, now you have a couple of resources of what to look at when you're trying to set the goal. And again, us coaches are always available to go over this before and after practice for you. We're very happy to do it. Okay. All right, let me go back here real quick. Okay. That was pretty quick as far as the goal setting end of it goes. Does anyone have any questions on that? Okay, I'm going to try to keep this just informational only, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask or any clarification on anything, or if you want to know how to look something up I didn't mention or anything like that. Okay, very good. Okay, so our club design is what we're based around. You may have heard the term US RPT, that's basically talked about high intensity race-based training. We kind of do that, but not really. We kind of do a little variation of it. It's our own little spin. It's something that requires a lot of accountability on the swimmers and the coaches to make sure we're doing things right and to make sure that we approach and attack our practices with the kind of focus we need. So I'll get ready to share here our pace chart, which you may have seen on our pool decks. And again, this is always good for us to review and go over. All right, you should see our race pace chart. Yell at me if you don't see it. So we're going to look at the right-hand side. You got this little black divisional column here. We're not paying attention to this yet. We're just looking kind of like this right-hand side here, okay? So let's say, I'll go back here. So let's say, let me go back to, I'm going to open up a goal sheet and I'm going to open up the pace chart. Okay. So let's say I'm this particular swimmer and I want to go 52 seconds in the 100 freestyle. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm trying to train at the level that I want to reach. Okay, so if I'm 54, if I train like I'm going 54, I'm going to go 54. So I was saying I want to be 52. Okay, so I'm looking up to this 52. And what this first column means, that's our gold effort or race pace, depending on how we're looking at it. And the gold represents our lifetime best. That's LTB 100 freestyle time. If you look at this top column. Okay. And all this is a cheat sheet. This is just math, okay? So I'm looking at this 54 to 52. When you hear, okay, we're going to go our 12:25s on the 30 gold race pace, we look at our column, okay? And this is where you would have your gold card and your cheat sheet, where I look at my 52, I navigate myself across the chart in this way. And I'm saying, okay, my cheat sheet says I need to be going 13s on these 25s. So I'm training myself to go that 52 average. Now, it's not just about hitting the time, it's about hitting the time as efficiently as possible. So what that means is, I tell the swimmers this a lot, I would rather see a swimmer go 14s and take 12 strokes the length than go 13s and take 16 strokes the length. Now, yes, why is that? Well, that's because we're being more efficient at 14s, which means over time, we'll eventually be able to go 13s with 12 strokes the length, and we're saving strokes over time, okay? So that's essentially what that means. Now, the cool thing is, as we kind of work the chart across, okay, so I said 52, I work the chart across, the next column is our 90%, which is about our, so let me clarify here too. Gold effort is 95%. A 50 freestyle is 100%. So we're saying it's 95%. And this is just our vocabulary, okay? This isn't doctrine. This isn't Bible. This isn't anything that's religious or anything. This is just something we're just using as a jumping off point to help us train. So I'm saying, okay, I want to be 52 in the 100 freestyle. Well, what should my 200 time be? Okay, well, I work with where across the chart. Here's my silver plus, 57. If I go 51, if I go 57 plus 57, that should give me time of, that's just, I'm going to do it right for you guys here. I go 57 plus 57, so that way you can, those of you who are visual learners, you can see it. 114. Now here's a little fun trick for you when you're trying to do it. Wait, it's time. How do I do that? Well, just minus 60 seconds here. So I got rid of a minute, so it's 154. Now, a lot of you probably did that in your head, but that's a good way to do that math with a calculator there. So if my goal is to go 52 in 100 freestyle, well, then my 200 free, in theory, could be as fast as a 154. So I can kind of look back over here at my goal times that I set for the pace chart. That's why I kind of did this on purpose. If I'm trying to be a 52, well, I put a goal time as 153.9 because I'm working the chart of something that is realistically possible. I'm not sure what that time should be. It's funny enough, if I have enough data samples, you'll actually find that this actually kind of works out probably 4 out of 5 times where you can pick someone's 100 freestyle time, guess what their 200 time is, and it will work out to be these times. Okay, so back to the chart. If I'm working further apart, this is our silver effort and our bronze plus efforts, 85 to 80%. So I call this silver effort to be high speed 500, low speed 200. Okay, so in other words, the slow end of a 200 or the fast end of a 500. And then this bronze plus, I would say, is kind of just a straight up medium paced 500 freestyle time. So this is where I can talk about the second column over here. So this is a 500 cheat sheet, okay, 500 freestyle cheat sheet that does the math for you, to where if you're saying, oh, I want to go 6 minutes in the 500 freestyle, what do I need to hold? What do I need to train at? Well, here's my 500 times 6 minutes. You need to hold 112s or 36s or 18s. Okay, again, it's just a math chart. Same deal though. If I go across the chart, okay, at this 52, and I go all the way down here to this 102, okay, either a minute or 102. We're going to use this 102 because again, I'm going down the chart. It's a good indication of where your 500 could very well be. So I'm going to take this 102. I'm going to look over here and look for a 102. Oh, there's a 102. So that's about a 510. So I say, ooh, 510 might be a little fast, but if I look at my goal pace chart, you can see I made this person make a 515. So I kind of put it smack dab in the middle of this 510 and 520. Is that always going to work? No, it's not always going to work. There are some people who might have a much faster 500 time related to their pace chart than their 100 time. You know, they might be a 510, 500, but still only be like a 56 in their 100 freestyle. I've seen that before, things like that. So again, this is just all this kind of reference point of knowing where we're going to train and how we're going to do it, how we write it down on our goal card. So this would be the front of your goal card, and this would kind of be the back of it when you do get the physical copy. To where, okay, I'm this person that said I want to be 52 seconds in my 100 freestyle. I wrote it down right there. So now I'm just writing my cheat sheet, so I don't have to use my chart all the time. I'm looking at 13s and 26s. I can double check it over here. 52, 13, and 26. Okay, that's where I got those numbers from. And then I pretty much, again, I just work across the chart. I just work my way across the chart. If I go with my silver plus, 14, 18, 57. Again, working across the chart, 14, 28, 57. I know I said 18, I meant 28. Okay, silver effort. Said 153/515, 15, 30 minute. 15, 30 minute. Okay, so that's where those numbers are coming from. So if you ever seen those and you got a little confused, or there's your little reminder of how to do it. And this will work for your strokes as well. Okay, you can set it up. IM gets a little tricky. I say for your 200 IM and your 400 IM, focus on a silver plus of what your 100 would be. So in other words, if I'm looking at a gold backstroke and I'm saying 14s for my gold, trying to go 58, I go back to my 58 over here. When you're stuck in a middle gap, move to the faster one. Okay, move to the faster one. So if I'm stuck between this 14 and 15, I'd move to that 14. But again, I'm looking at silver plus. Now I'm looking over here, trying to say a 200 backstroke. So if I was going 200 IM, and trying to get a goal on that, I'd be looking at somewhere between this 32 or 33 for my split. Again, not an exact science for what we're trying to accomplish, but again, it's just something that's going to be useful for us. Okay. And again, same deal. When your time, your goal gets broken, when you do go your, 52 and your 100 free, or let's say breaststroke. Let's say when you go your 105 and your 100 breaststroke, well, I can go down here and I can update it. Okay, I go 105. Okay, now I want to try to go 104. I want to try to win 103, whatever it might be. You go to your next column and you start working your way across, adding and updating the times as you go through it. And that's pretty much it there, gang, as far as the basics that we're looking for. As far as how to create some goals for yourself and how to use our goal card example and our race pace chart, as well as some examples of how to find some times, find your times, and find some jumping off points of, what should I set my goal to? Okay. For those of you who are type this in here. For those of you who might be watching this as a category 3 swimmer or category 2 swimmer, okay, I'll share this screen one more time with you. Because I know a lot of the cat 2s and 3s are always looking at what's it take to move up to the next group. I'll share my screen one more time here real quick. Again, the thing we want to be looking at, or if you want to ask an older swimmer, we're looking at our category goals. Okay, if you're one of our younger swimmers that happen to look at this, and this is where some of your goal times are. So if I'm trying category 2 and I'm trying to go to category 3, here are some of your times you're trying to hit. I'm trying to be under 310 at my 200 free. I'm trying to be under 125 at my 100 free. I'm trying to go at 50 free and under 38. I'm trying to be under 45 in my 50 backstroke. Okay, that's also a good way to set some goals for yourself. Do I have any questions on that? And I want to keep this a little short and sweet today, but again, if anyone has any questions or want to look up something or have any questions about certain time standards or anything like that. I will say also, those of you who do high school season, middle school season, or whatever it might be, please do use those times. They do count towards cuts times and count towards your goals and all that other good stuff to help you progress through your goals. Anyone else? Okay, very cool. Well, I hope that helped out a little bit. I hope the video is going to help people in the future. And again, those of you who have seen this before, hope maybe you learned something new out of it. If not, no big deal. It's always good to have that pressure. If no one has any immediate questions right now, I'm going to stop recording